Way bigger than I hate to interrupt everybody. We're having a good time here. But I just wanted to welcome you all to the campaign raiser information night for the James Frey for Mayor campaign. Thank you all for coming, showing your support for James in the campaign. My name is Sakatch. I'm James' campaign manager. Although in the real world, that's Sydney. She does all the hard work. I'm just the one who stands at the mic. I just want to. I don't want to talk about myself because I'm actually leading up to something here. A lot of people who haven't seen me in a couple of years. This is my third campaign in 2 years. Done provincial, federal, and now local. And a lot of people say to me, "I didn't know you were political." When they find out that I've worked on these campaigns, and I always tell them that I'm not political. I really am not political at all. I'm a fiscal conservative social libertarian, which basically means I don't care what you do, just don't do it with my money. But in the past, the reason I became involved in politics is because I was approached by 3 different people to help with their campaigns. And the reason I helped with their campaigns was because I was convinced, and they still convinced, that they were the right person for the job. If I'd been approached by somebody else, I would have said no. Because I really don't care about politics. What I care about is good government. I think we all probably care about good government. And I want the right people in to make those decisions on my behalf. And I think I've done pretty good with my candidates so far. And when James asked me to help out, I said absolutely. If I go back in time to when I first met James, it was about 15 years ago. I was a student at the college. I was the editor of the Endeavour college newspaper. And we had a situation where somebody high up on the board of governors or in administration, I can't remember which, had left, but nobody would confirm that they had left. James was working in the communications department at that time. Nobody in communications would confirm that this person had left. So I went to a reporter and I said, I want you to call up the chairman of the board of governors and say, so how do you feel about so-and-so leaving? And that reporter did. The board of governors chair confirmed that that person left, and we ran it on the front page of the newspaper. And there were certain people high up in administration that were ready to skin me for us. And I'll never forget, I got a call from James one day, and he goes, nice work. And I thought, that's a man with integrity. Somebody who isn't towing some party line, isn't basically repeating what his boss told him, but somebody who just said, you know what? You got around me, you did it deep, and that was a good shot. So, and from then on, we had a great working relationship. Didn't see each other for quite a while, and the next thing you know, we're neighbors. And, I mean, obviously you want, if you're going to have a mayor, it's great to have somebody in your neighborhood who's a mayor, because you can only go over to their house, pound on their door, and gripe at them, and complain about everything you want to complain about. And you know that you can't get away from him, because he lives there. So I thought that would be a good plus. But James is, when James first said he was going for mayor, I thought, why would you want to do that? Personally, for him, why would he want to do that? I know he could do the job. He's a smart guy. And, he's again, a man of integrity. He's a regular guy. He's a normal guy. And I said, why do you want to do it? Because normal people usually don't get into politics. I didn't mean that the way it sounded. But I think, you know what I mean. Regular Joes don't tend to get into politics. It's often business people, lawyers, somebody who has something to gain from the position. James doesn't really have anything to gain from the position. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's going to get a job tomorrow if he wanted. That would, in his field, that could do, he could do whatever he wants. His business is going great. He loves working for immigrant services. But he was the kind of guy who, like me, just looked around and said, this isn't what I want out of my city. I want something better. I want something more. I want my taxes to go down. I don't want to be paying so much for utilities. And I don't it bugs me that I'm not getting full value for my dollar. And I figure anybody that's got the guts to jump into this, and instead of just beaking off about it, because I was in the media long enough to know that there's a lot of quacking in the wind that goes on. And a lot of people want things to change, and they don't have the guts or the time to put up and to jump into the arena, put in the time, the effort, the psychological investment into running for a position like this. And so I said, good on him. If he can get in, we will have a person in that position who understands me, the way that I live, normal guy, West Sider, got a couple of kids, mortgage, dog, he's the same way. He understands me, and that's what I want out of my mayor. And he follows the same kind of fiscal philosophy that I have. And I'm pretty sure that all of us have. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of seeing my tax bill. And I just don't want to see any more money spent on things that really don't need to be spent on. Whatever you're conservative, liberal, none of us like spending money out of our pockets. And when we get to this level of government, it's funny, there's an inverse ratio. There's more interest in federal politics, and yet it has less impact on your day-to-day life than any other level of government. We can barely get 20% of the population to vote in a civic election, and yet that is where it has a real impact on your life, your taxes. You're taking your family to a swimming pool, driving around, hitting potholes, traffic congestion, things like that. That stuff really gets in your craw and has an effect on your day. It can really ruin your day when it's done poorly, and it can really make your day when it's done right. So, I'm glad that you people have all shown up today to show that, yes, this is important. Yes, we do need to get the right person in for the job. And I don't want to speak on behalf of everyone here, but on behalf of myself, James Frey is the guy for that job. Now, what we would hope to get from you people tonight is different, depending on your level of commitment, just different levels of support. First of all, number one, we need to be talking about this guy to everybody that we know. I was talking with James Frey, and he said this, and I agree with that. Or have you heard anything about James Frey? Have you been to his website? He's got some really interesting things that he's talking about. I think you should go there. Maybe you should phone him. If you're having a problem coming up with who to vote for, give him a call. At least you find out where he stands. Go on Facebook. Change your status to I'm going to vote for James Frey. Or the next time you're sitting around with your family, ask them, have you heard of James Frey? You should go to his website. Just talk about as much as you can. The next level, of course, is actually jumping in with both feet and volunteering for the campaign. There's lots of stuff that we can do. We've got brochures printed that you can just drop off at your workplace. Ask your boss first. But anything that you can do to get that name out there, that's fantastic. And of course, the level on top of that is to contribute to the campaign. Now, James and I have talked about this extensively. We could go out and hit up a lot of business people and try and get the kinds of campaign money that we've seen in years past and that we know some of the competitors are going to have. I don't know if many people know how much it costs to run a municipal campaign, but as examples from the past, mayoral campaigns have run anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000. And the person who spent $200,000 didn't get elected. So, donations would be fantastic because, you're competing against people who have money, but at the same time, donations and signs and stuff like that aren't the only thing. Having faith in your candidate, believing in him, talking him up, making sure that other people understand where he's coming from and consider him is the most important. Like I said, we'd love to have your money. Even $5 donation would be fantastic because it helps us get more out, brochures, advertisements, and stuff like that. But we've also got James on the ground, and James is door knocked on almost 1,000 houses now, I think. And that's important too. That's very important because you can have somebody stand up there or have their face on a sign and tell you that, I got all the qualities that a mayor should have. But do they? You don't know. If that person doesn't come to your door, shake your hand, and talk to you face to face, how do you know what that person really stands for? And so if anybody ever wants to join James and door knocking, I've been there with him a few times, and I'll tell you, door knocking is a real experience. You'll find out what is on people's minds, no doubt. And the great thing is that a lot of what's on people's minds is exactly along the lines of what James wants to bring to the job now. I'll try and wrap this up quick too, because we want to get on to there's this scruffy guy in the hat. He's kind of famous. His name's Santa. So he'll come up here and he'll sing for us. But before we do, I want everybody to understand where I come from, what I think my mayor should be doing. My way of thinking a mayor has two specific goals. First is not to be the leader of city council. You're not the leader of city council when you're the mayor. You're one voice. That's it. You're one vote. The mayor is supposed to be A, the spokesman for the city to the people, the one who's supposed to tell the people what's going on city council. And B, they're supposed to be the big cheerleader of the city. They're supposed to be the person who has, the second word out of their mouth is always Lethbridge. It should be Lethbridge, Lethbridge, Lethbridge everywhere they go. Our current mayor, Bob Charlotte, has done a great job of, being a huge booster for this community. And I know that James would do an even better job because he loves this community. He's raising his family here, and it's important to him. But it's also very important to be the spokesman for the city council because the spokesman can, you can't affect policy. You're one vote when it comes to policy, but what you can affect is the direction that you're going through being the spokesperson. So when the spokesperson is talking about a particular subject, especially to the media or to the public at a public meeting, they're the ones who say, this is what our priorities are. That's the great thing about being the mayor, is you can go out there and say, on behalf of the city council, we think that we need to start spending more wisely and stuff like that. And there's nothing they can do about it, because they're not the ones in front of the camera. But, he's a communications professional, so he knows how best to take that message that's coming from the city and give it to the people so that they understand it, for one thing. Not sugarcoating it. James is fantastic at communication because he understands that you can't sugarcoat stuff. You can't, fluff up quotes and have your communications department write your quotes for you and things like that. You have to be sincere. If you're not being sincere, then you're deceiving the public. Flat out. So, he knows how to do that. So he's got both sides of that coin down pat. He could step right into that job. You need to buy a suit. But he could step right into that job, take it over tomorrow. He'll work with council. He will work to communicate with us both ways, which means that he wants to hear from you, not just one side going out. He wants it to be a two-way process. And he understands, even the technology, he understands on how to do that. So he could walk in tomorrow, and he would be able to work with the current council. He would be able to work with the newcomers, and he would be able to work with administration, because he's just that kind of a guy. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't have a major agenda to push. He just wants to do the best for this community that he can. And for that, he's getting my vote. I hope he gets yours too.